Hello and welcome to the first update of 2017. So, there is a lot of stuff changing on the channel, but it's all good. We've got a few series starting. Well, we had a few series ending, which, you know, depending on your perspective, might not be as good, but I think it's a good thing. We're moving on, we're getting some more variety, and I'm happy with what we've got on the channel. I think we've got a good balance, but maybe some things could change, and I'm going to talk about that in this. So, first things first, let's talk about the series that ended. We had RimWorld that ended, and we had Planet Coaster. I think I talked about Planet Coaster in the previous update, but anyway, we'll go through it again. Planet Coaster unexpectedly ended. Basically, I tried 2 recording softwares, didn't work. Series didn't seem to be that popular, and it was a lot more work on the backside for something that didn't appear to be watched very much. We're kind of running out of stuff to do. It was a very easy game, so I felt it was time to just move on and try something different. RimWorld ended. Kind of the same thing for moving on that one. We had a poll, which Skyrim won, in case you didn't know. It had about 30 votes, and the rest had about 24, I think, was the next highest, and that was City Skylines. I think it might have been tied with Banished. Not 100% sure. By the way, really interested to see quite how far up Banished got on that list, because I was looking, the list was fairly random on what was there. Deliberately so, because I wanted to see what kind of things would rise up. And a few unexpected ones did, but mostly it was the ones I thought would kind of get to the top. And yeah, there was Banished, City Skyline, Skyrim, and then RimWorld was 5th. I can't remember what was 4th, but there was a lot of games that were there and could have been played. But Skyrim came out as the clear winner. We're going to play that. I think 3 episodes a week sounds about right for that sort of series. It's going to be an RPG series, obviously, so it's kind of going to be similar to Pillars and how I record it. Well, I'm thinking after the first episode, because obviously for the first episode, you start kind of going to Helgen and that sort of stuff. That's all very scripted, and there's not really a lot you can deviate from the script in there. So that's probably going to be 1 episode. And it's going to be a little bit shorter. In fact, I've recorded it. I know it's going to be about 23 minutes long. So, I think that other videos are probably going to aim between 30 and 40 minutes. And then maybe we'll do an hour of recording, maybe an hour and a bit, depending on how much walking around there is. And then cut out a lot of the walking around and things like that. We'll see how it works out. May need to change some things. Also, the first episode feels a lot rougher than some of my other series. When I record a new CK2 series, I'm okay, I know what I'm doing here. I've got everything kind of sorted out. Skyrim's a little bit less so, but, you know, I'm sure we'll get some feedback and we can twist it. I think nearing the end of the episode, there was kind of a good groove and a good kind of way we want it to continue, so we'll see. Haven't done an awful lot of actual questing yet in Skyrim, so we'll see. It's also going to be a modded playthrough, in case you're wondering. We're not going to play the special edition, we're just going to play modded, but with a lot of textures changed, a few gameplay changes, things like that. So, other things that are going to be on the channel. We have Pillars of Eternity. I talked about it briefly there, saying how long it's going to take to record. Now, with Pillars, we're in an interesting spot, because I reckon Skyrim's going to last at least 2 months. Pillars is probably going to last about that long. And there is something I want to play on the 21st of March, just announced, kind of this week. Probably kind of old news for you guys watching the video, but Mass Effect Andromeda comes out on the 21st of March. And that's something I really want to play on release, because it's something that I like. Mass Effect is a series that I put too much time into, as with many others. I had a lot of spare time, kind of growing up, to play these things, and Mass Effect is something that I want to go back to. I want to see what they do with it, because Mass Effect's had a lot of different things done in its time. It was pure RPG. It's actually very similar to Dragon Age. Very, very, very pure RPG for the first one. Second one was kind of more actiony and kind of set it up like that. I believe I read an interview at one point with a BioWare designer. He said that was deliberate in kind of the saga way that they wanted to do things, where it was in the story way, they wanted the first one to be very kind of, it's world building. It's very kind of open scope. Second one to bring it in, be very closed story. And then the third one again to be moving it back out to be more open again. I think was how they were saying they wanted to do things. So again, the third Mass Effect though, it was actually very kind of it didn't let you wander around as much as what I felt. Like, with 2 and with 1, there was a lot of kind of wandering about worlds. With 3, I felt there was a lot of like story moments and things like that. That's what I remember from 3. I remember with 2 wandering around Omega and kind of seeing things. With 1, there was obviously a ton of wandering around worlds and things like that. But with 3, it was very kind of tight. There wasn't very much else going on in 3. It was very it was very story focused, which was how it should have been. And some people didn't like that. Some people really didn't like that. So we'll see what Andromeda is like. I suspect, just looking at it and looking at what they're doing in it and looking at what kind of stuff they've done recently, it's going to be very similar to Dragon Age Inquisition, which I quite liked, but it had a bit too much, collectible hunting. But the DLCs for Dragon Age Inquisition were much better. Like, so much better, that I think that if they can get that into Andromeda, like, if they can get kind of that kind of gameplay from the DLCs, where there was still some collectible hunting, but not really that much. It was just kind of a side thing, which is how it should be. Unlike with the main game, where it was like, that's actually what they want you to do 90% of the time. I think it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see how they go. Either way, it's going back to Mass Effect as a cool universe. But I want to play that on the 21st. Pillars might still be going on. I don't know how long Pillars is, but at 3 episodes a week, how many more episodes do we have? Let's see. Like, maybe 8 weeks? Oh no, but you've also got March, so let's say somewhere between 10 and 12 weeks left, so that's like 36 more episodes. Yeah, I could see Pillars reaching near the end by that point, but not quite at the end. So what I'm going to do with Pillars is anytime I get like a spare hour, because Pillars doesn't tend to get a lot of feedback, which isn't necessarily bad, it's just kind of a story game, so you're not going to get as much that you would get with CK2 or something like that. So I think I'm going to just record a lot of backlog for that. I've got a better system for doing that now, where it doesn't take up as much room on my hard drive to backlog things if I'm using OBS. I usually use DxTory, kind of unnecessary to you probably, but for Pillars I use OBS so I can record a ton at a time. And I think that we're just going to try and get a big backlog so that I'm finished Pillars, like personally, by the time Mass Effect comes out. And then it may not be finished on the channel. So we may have another series going at the same time, but one is heavily backlogged and the other won't be. The only problem with our current schedule is that we're going to be very much CK2 and RPG heavy in what we've got. I really don't think that's great for the channel in terms of variety, but that's fine. Skyrim's very different from Pillars, so we'll see how that does. It's just not quite the same as RimWorld, and we'll see how that works. Might need to change some things around. It might end up that we move one of the CK2 slots into a different game slot, but we'll see. CK2 is still the most popular thing on the channel, so I should stick with it. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas here. Now, talking about CK2, I want to talk about both of them at the same time. Well, first of all, I want to say that the Arbol Orcs was not backlogged over the holidays, just because I ran out of time to actually get that fully done. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to bring it back, and it'll be fine. It'll go at the normal kind of schedule next week, along with the lore, which will end in 2 weeks. 3 weeks. I think, yeah, I said it would end in 2 weeks. I'm going to give it another week on top of that, because I have a lot of courtiers coming in this week, give them a little bit more time, but I am going to end the series soon so that we can move on to something new. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn that into a new player series in vanilla CK2. Because I think that's the best way to bring back the tutorial series, and some people have been saying, can you do more of these? So what we'll do with that is we'll make it 5 episodes a week of a kind of new player based series where we'll play through vanilla, we'll talk through what we're doing, that sort of thing. And then the 6th episode will be kind of a, if anything came up during the week, we'll do like a lesson thing in it, or like or more a looking at the mechanics, that's a better way of putting it, thing in it. So say that we come up with an army composition problem some point in the week, and I explain through it then, but say I don't want to spend all episode talking through the army composition. what we'll do is say, we'll put that on our list for things at the end of the week, and then we'll do a kind of, here's what new stuff we learned this week that needs to be talked about more, kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do it, but I think that'll be the best way of setting that out. And then when the Horrible Orc series finishes, a couple of weeks after that, in my head that's how it's going to work, a couple of weeks after Relore ends, we'll move that into another Game of Thrones series. When the new player one finishes, a couple of, like, you know, a little bit after that, we'll move that back into another mod. When the Game of Thrones one ends, we'll move that into another mod, and then when, you know, that's how we're going to do it. We'll put Game of Thrones every second series. And basically, the reason I want to do that is because I think we've done a lot in the Game of Thrones mod, and it's starting to feel like we might be running out of content, which is fine. But if we give it a break every now and then, when we come back to it, there'll be a whole bunch of stuff that feels a bit more fresh because we've given it a break. That's how I see it in my mind. Maybe you have a different opinion, and that's why I'm doing the video, so you can give feedback. And we can kind of set the schedule how, you know, you guys think it should be. So, anything else that needs to be talked about? And not too much, apart from that we're going to be doing update videos a little bit more often. Basically, this is because we're getting a lot of comments, well, not a lot, but like we're getting more than normal amount of comments saying, have you thought about doing this game? Have you thought about doing this? Have you, you know, what about this release that's coming up? Are you going to play it? Things like that. And we're also getting comments like, when is this series coming back? When is this series on? Why is there no episode today? Things like that. So what I think would be a good way of solving this is to just simply make the information more available. And I have a couple of different ways where I could do this. One I thought about was maybe making a permanent schedule on like a site and then having it sit there and be like, you know, something someone could check, which works all right. The schedule doesn't change that much, and I don't want to have to maintain like a website for people. Basically. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to just do more update videos so that I can, you know, I can act on feedback more quickly, or I can respond to feedback more quickly. If it's regular feedback, then people are getting it like quicker, and we can have the comments be more about the videos. Not that I mind comments about like the channel and things. I just want to, you know, I feel like if there are a lot of comments that are kind of asking the same thing, I want it to be something that I've actually answered, and there's a place where you can just go and look for it. I don't know. I have some different ideas as well. I also, at some point, like kind of year goal, I want to try and set up more kind of community things. Like, I think I might set up a Discord at some point, so that there's a place where I'll be. You just come and ask me questions. I'll probably make it a text-based kind of Discord thing, and you can just, you know, you got something you want to ask? Chuck it in there. You want to just talk about games with people who also want to talk about games? Chuck it in there. That's how I think a Discord might work, but I don't know much about setting one up, so that's going to be in a little bit. So, thank you for watching this video. If you have any feedback or anything, please leave it in the comments below. And yes, Happy New Year, everybody.